Good morning, stamping friends. You might notice something different. I got new glasses. Actually, you've probably never seen me in glasses, but my eyes are getting worse, so I'm needing to wear them a little more often here. So I thought, now you can get used to this, my scholarly look. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lorri Heiling, if you're new to my channel, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love sharing ideas with you. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Well, today we are going to be making a little Halloween card, and that's kind of what's on my mind here. I can't believe how fast this year is going, and we're almost in August, and then soon we'll be into the holiday with, Halloween and even Thanksgiving and Christmas around the corner. So I just thought I better get a jump start on some of these projects here. Also, I'm leaving town this week. I'm going to be gone another week, but have no fear. I have prepared for next week when I'm gone, but there will still be a YouTube live. So be sure and join me. I do these videos every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock Arizona time. Well, let's take a look at what's up my sleeve. I kind of designed as I went, and I hope you enjoy this project. Today we are going to be making a fun little Halloween card, and the dies that make up most of this card are going to be found in the Celebration catalog. Now, the best part about this is this die set is absolutely free. However, you just have to place a $100 order to receive this. And you guys, this die set is so adorable. There's so many ideas on Pinterest. You can make it look Christmassy or summery, and I'm going to turn it into a Halloween card. So I wanted to show you a picture of all these dies here. There are actually 24 dies in this set, and there's double tree ones because you can make the trees look frosty with snow, and there's just so many different ways that you can use them. There are a lot of pieces to this, but it's so worth the little extra effort to make this card come together. Then the next thing I want to show you is, I did use one other die from, it's just a tiny little die right here from the Scary Silhouette die set. I just needed those little bats there, but if you already have bats, you may want to, just use that, or you could always stamp them too if you have a little bat one. But if not, this is a great bundle to get. It's called Scary Silhouette dies, and it goes with the stamp set called Scary Cute. You can bundle that together and save 10%. The last thing I want to show you is the paper that we're going to be using. In the back of the mini catalog, you will find some host rewards. Now, if your order is $150, which for some of you, that may be a little bit of a stretch. So you may want to gather some of your friends together and then group them together, because this paper pack is so large that you could even split it 4 or 6 or 8 ways and you'll still have plenty of paper, because there are 48 sheets in this pack. And they call it Celebrate Everything because you seriously can celebrate so many holidays. There's Christmas, birthday, plain, there's also Halloween, and you can barely see that, but we're gonna use that little star. I've used this on another one. I made a little gnome card, if you're interested in seeing that in a previous video. So those are all the products that we're gonna use. And then I'm gonna show you everything cut out. And so you can take note here, or maybe pause it if you need to. I wrote the dimensions on it as well, so I don't have to keep stopping what I'm doing to show you. Okay, so first of all, we need the Designer Series paper. Again, it's called Celebrate Everything, and that's a host pack. You have to have a workshop of over $150, and then it's only $18 for 48 sheets. We're gonna use this side of it, but I wrote the dimensions back here. This is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8 inch. Then this one is crushed curry, cut at 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Then we go up here, we have 2 basic black, and these are about 5 inches by 1 inch. These are just scraps, so it doesn't have to be exact. Then I cut out a couple bats that I just showed you from that other die set. Then this is a little banner. I put it on here so you can see, and it's white because we're gonna color that rather than cutting all those little pieces, those little triangles the right color. It's just easier to color them with the markers. Then this is a part of the camper. This is just our silver foil sheets. Then this little piece is 1 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. This one you want to cut exact. Then we have the camper in basic black. This little circle is actually, I cut part of this out in the silver foil, and I saved that circle out there. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. And then these trees are from the same die set that the camper set came with, and they are the largest tree and the smallest. I played around with these, and I didn't want the card to get too crowded, so I chose the largest and smallest that we're going to layer. All right, so these are all the pieces. So again, if you want to take a snapshot of it, and then I'm just going to be pulling different things to create this card. All right, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to make, we're going to start building on this piece right here. So this is basically going to be our background that the scene is going to be built on. And we are going to start, I'm going to put some white paper down because I'll eventually be coloring on some of this. So we're going to start with the trees, and let's pull these over. And I'm going to adhere this one over here, and I'm even going to let it go over the edge a little bit because this is going to be on bigger paper, so it won't matter that it goes over a little bit. So let's just adhere this down, and then for the second layer, just like that, we are going to put this right smack in front of it, but we are going to put it on dimensionals. So I'm going to use my take a pick tool because it has this pointy end and it's easier to pick up dimensionals. And I'm going to put 2 of these on here, and we're just going to make the trees layer a little bit and make some dimension here like that. We want them pretty close together too. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is take those 2 scraps of black paper, and like I said, they're about 5 by 1 or maybe 5 by 1 1/4, and we are just going to tear a ground piece like this. And I always pull towards me when I tear, and I prefer the side that is ripped. If you flip it over, it's all the same, but when you pull it towards you, can you see that, how it's darker and lighter? And that's what I want it to look like. And you can make it kind of hilly and go up and down a little bit. And so this is going to be part of the ground, and we're going to put that on right like this. Actually, we need to put this behind the trees. So I am going to easily lift this up like that. And then if you want to do a second layer, which let's do that. Let me put this one down first. And I made it a little bit bigger than this, but we want to for sure cover up that ground because we don't want to see stars on the other side of our camper. We definitely need to be grounded here. Let me grab my scissors and trim this off a little bit. Now, if you want a little bit of layering, you can do a second layer, and I need to not make this such a big hill here. And you can just kind of angle it down a little bit. It'll just look a little bit more like there's a couple layers. So let's add a little bit more adhesive on the back of that. And then if you have to go back and trim the bottom off, that's fine. Actually, I want it to go a little bit at an angle. Like that. Okay, now flip it over. And because there's some long slices, I'm going to use my larger scissors. I have 2 of these. One I use just for paper, and one I use just for ribbon. So I'm going to use my paper one and trim all these. And otherwise you can use your paper cutter, but it's just going to be faster and easier to hand trim it. Just follow the line of the Designer Series paper. All right, there we go. Now we can put these trees back on, and we're going to make them a little bit more in the forefront here. There we go. All right, now I guess we didn't even need that one. I used both pieces on one. All right, so let's start building this camper now. So let's set this aside. Now for the camper, most of it is going to be black. So that's the larger piece, and then there's a trim piece. And when you die cut this, these 2 pieces will be on the same die. So when you look at the die, it looks like this, but once you die it, it comes out in 2 pieces. And I think I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue because some of these pieces are pretty tiny, and sometimes the other adhesive, you have too much overflow and it gets on your stuff. All right, so many times this gets stuck. I have a pin within arm's reach that's a little bit gooped up, but you just have to stick that in there and get the airway going like that. All right, now it should come out, and just put some adhesive there. This is going to be the bottom piece, and it will line up exactly with the camper. Are you guys campers?
We used to go when I was a kid, but as adults, we went more when we lived in Minnesota. And then when we moved to Arizona, we took our younger son and his friends on an annual trip somewhere just to be in the outdoors. But we kind of got away from it once he started getting involved in sports. Boy, it sure was fun. We really enjoyed it.
All right, that's the start of our camper. Now, this little piece, the reason that it has to be exact is because I want a background. I don't want to see stars through the camper. We're going to pretend like there's a light in there. So what we're going to do is, and we want to pop this up away from it. So I'm going to stick a few dimensionals in here just so this can be popped up away from this. So I think probably 3 should do it. And then 1 over here. All right. Now remember, sometimes these do seem putsy, but if you do assembly line, it doesn't take as long because you cut all the same things out the same. And I'm gonna have to stand so I can center this. I don't want any pieces poking out. There we go. See how that looks better having it kind of, whoops. Ooh, this one stuck to the paper. Can you see that there's some dimension there? You can see shadow even. All right, now the next thing we're gonna do is we gotta make this look a little more Halloween-y. I made up that word. And I am going to get my little banner that's white. And I think, you know what, I think I'm gonna draw on this just in case it goes through. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the cording black, whoops, but I want the fine tip. Remember, the way you can tell which is the paint end is there's a wider line on this side, and then the finer tip, it has a smaller line here. So this is basic black, the dark one. And let's just make that line go all the way across. And this banner could be used for so many different things. You can stick it on a little birthday card. Almost looks like shark teeth. All right, now we're gonna alternate. I guess, you know what, let's leave the cap off because I'm gonna be doing lots of colors. Then we have dark pumpkin pie and we have dark daffodil delight. And I want my main color to be orange. That's the traditional Halloween color, but you really can do anything. Purple is nice. Our new parakeet party is nice. So we have 3 colors, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do another one here. All right, and then the second color I want to use more of is the black again. And let's do this one black, and then we'll just stick 1 yellow in there. That'll make it look a little bit more like the holiday. All right, now let's stick this on the camper. And the way we're gonna do that is just add a little bit of glue on the back. Again, we'll use the multi-purpose liquid glue, or green glue for short. Barely add any because on such a small piece, it's so easy for it to, you know, kind of gush out a little bit, and we don't want sticky all over. And we're just gonna angle it like this. And guess what? I probably wouldn't have needed it on all of these because it's popped up. So maybe just the beginning and the end. Like that. Whoopsie. Got a little bit of goop here. All right, now I can see that I need a little bit up there, so I am gonna try to add just a little bit just to the orange part here. We definitely need glue on that one to make it stick to the top of the camper, like that. All right, now while that's drying, let's go over to the wheel part. Now what we want to do with this is we want to just make this part round underneath it, and I wonder if I can still stick this under. Nope, I can't. So I'm just going to cut it in half. But if you think of it, do this before you put that little metal piece on. If you forget, then just cut it in half like that, and we'll just add this little wheel well right, or what do you call that, the hubcap. And that take pick tool is going to come in very handy on this project. We'll put it right there. That just kind of sets off the wheel a little bit better. Whoop. There we go. Much better. Okay. Now let's see what else. Let's put this aside to dry a little bit. And and we are going to place this part on the crushed curry. So you can either use adhesive or you can use your green glue. Remember, if it doesn't want to run right away, just run it along your silicone mat and it'll get it going. And this is going to be a really tight squeeze. I like the 1/8 inch borders. If you prefer more, just adjust your measurements. There we go. All right, and then the base of the card, usually I start with that. I didn't even tell you what that measurement is. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored on the long side at 4 1/4. So let's just fold that in half. And remember to always have your bone folder handy. It makes a nice crisp edge when you're making cards. All right, let me see. I think I can get all this out of the way. Sometimes it gets so junky looking here. All right, now we are ready to put this on the card front. And I am going to use dimensionals on this. I like to pop this layer. I just like a lot of dimension on my cards. I guess I get pretty lucky. Sometimes you have to add another stamp, but I've lucked out. All right, now we're just going to center this. Again, I have to stand up so I can see the center a little bit better. All right, now we're getting closer. The next thing we're going to do is let's take our camper and we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this, of course. Wherever you can find that they will fit. That's probably pretty good. And we are going to place this right here. Now the sky's a little bit starry. I want to add a little bit something more to this. So that's why I punched out this 1-inch circle. We don't have a punch anymore for this, but punches are something that you want to hang on to. I'm confident that someday they're going to bring them back again. And then I also need my blending brushes, or you know, it might be easier for this one. You can either use blending brushes or if you have a little dauber. And I think I'm going to use dauber this time. The other thing I like to use is I take that tweezer, which comes with our new embossing packet. And this tweezer is so worth it, you guys. It's the strongest tweezer I've ever seen. It's made of metal and the grip on it is so amazing. And this way you won't get ink all over your hands when you're just kind of daubing the edges. Look how strong that is. It stays in there while I'm doing this. Just turn it a little bit. Just kind of get the edges of it. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do just a little bit on the front. Just give it a little bit of shading in there. All right, now let's put this on the card front. All I think we need for this is one little dimensional in the middle, and then we're gonna add our little bats to the moon. So let's put this about right here. Now for the little bats, you can use a glue dot, but I think the green glue works even better, and I like to bend the wings back a little bit. And I wasn't sure if we should do 1 or 2, so I'm going to kind of place this around here. Yeah, let's do 2. All right, so take your green glue, just put 1 little dot here, and this card is going to have to set for about 5 minutes so that this, whoops, kind of stopped up again, so that the green glue can dry. So let's go 1 over here. Gosh, this one is very 3D-ish. We might want to just put this one in a frame or just set it by your desk. Oh, it's so cute. And you know, before I started, I thought, okay, what sentiment am I going to do here? But I think we probably have enough on this card that we don't really need one. We'll just say this is more of a picturesque one. And then on the inside, you can put your little sentiment, or if you want to, you know, write a little Halloween greeting or something, just write a note. I don't always put sentiments inside of my cards because sometimes my words need to fill up the whole thing. There we go. All right, there's our little Halloween card. Do you like it? Oh, I think it was so fun. And like I said, once you get everything cut out, it's just really simple. It comes together pretty fast. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if there's any products that you like that you saw, please order from my Stampin' Up! Website. I would so appreciate that. Don't forget to use the host code MGQEGBDG MGQEGBDG. If this ever doesn't work, it possibly could mean that by the time you saw this video and a month or so has passed, just always look at my blog and it's on the right hand side. That is the most current one. But if you're watching this live or right now, that's the host code right now. And remember, if you order $35, you get to take part in my Creative View. All that means is that you are going to get 3 free projects in the mail, along with a PDF that will be emailed to you with the instructions. And that is my way of saying thank you so much for your order. Now, if you want to take advantage of this deal, if you bump your order up to $100, you can get this die set for free. So don't forget about that. All right, that should do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I do YouTube Lives every Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock Arizona time, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. Thank you again, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.